Let's talk about the new HBO Max TV show of Velma.
This is my story, told my way.
You know, I gotta say from the get-go, when I saw the original trailer for the show, I did make a video, mostly because people started ragging on Moist Critical over his take on first seeing it, and his take was pretty similar to mine. It looked like a pile of absolute dog crap. It looked like Scooby Doo took to the streets and left his excrement laid all over it. And he's not even in the show. That's the worst thing about it. This show looked dreadful from the beginning, and now we're seeing views come out saying it's HBO Max's biggest opening ever. And I'm guessing it was probably also HBO Max's biggest drop-off ever of viewership. I'm guessing the viewership cratered faster than the Final Fantasy crater hitting the Earth. I'm guessing this show is not going well. From everything I am seeing, things are getting clipped here and there, everywhere, and those clips are absolutely a cringe fest. But you know what is really telling? When you look at the scores from the critics are even on the side of the fans, even though the fans are down to a 7% critic score on this. The critics themselves are just over the 50% mark. This thing is certified rotten. This show looks like it has more Rotten Tomatoes to throw around than the festival in Spain. This show does not do anything well for the fandom of Scooby Doo, a very long mainstay of cartoons and Saturday mornings for many people alike. Hell, they even removed Scooby Doo himself from the show, saying he was too kid-friendly for this adult-rated lewdness of whatever this race-baiting garbage that they have crapped out here. HBO, what were you doing? Did you really think people were going to watch something like this? How would you greenlight something like this and then have people sit there and boost it up as a morale booster? I don't see where this thing is going. It just looks like an absolute dreadful mess. There are many people talking about it, and I am no different. No, it used to be out of Scooby Doo. Scrappy Doo was the worst thing that ever came out of Scooby Doo. Was this little pup with an intense reason to want to be the leader of the mystery group.
Oh God, he's peeing on me.
And now we have Velma from HBO Max, which has actually taken a complete nosedive when it comes to what we expect in new cartoons, on rehash cartoons. This is something that continues to happen today. They try to rehash something, make a spin in it that is just falls flat on its face. We've got Velma mostly replaces the old silly sensibility with classy name drop pointlessness. Jokes become exhausting in the meta, not for kids, Scooby-Doo's prequel. The wholly anticipated origin story of the brains behind Mystery Inc. is well worth the wait, with a compiling mystery and even funnier punchline. That's, of course, the Daily Beast. So, what do you expect there? What was it? Here, from IndieWire, Velma is doing a lot, possibly too much, and there are emotional beats and comedic gags that do land amid a saturated creative canvas, including arcs for future mysteries, Inc. gang that combine existing backstory with electric Velma flourishes. I mean, you're saying it right out there. The show is trying to do too much, and by doing too much, they obviously went too far on one side of the scale. You ever wonder in the development of Velma, where did everything go wrong? CNN even sporadically witty, but ultimately rather tedious. The HBO Max comedy leverages more than half a century of a name's equity to yield an animated prequel that's definitely not for kids, meddling or otherwise. This show is not liked by a lot of people. And in the all audience, I gotta tell you, there's more ones here than we find one-ups in Super Mario Land right now. Oh my God. So many ones. You know what? Velma can't buy a one-up at this point. That's how many ones are there. Here's a 5, but it's in a different language, so I'm not even going to read it. Not sure if this was simply a tax deduction for HBO, but you know what? They get a lot of these shows just get money thrown at them to do these things from our government entities, and I think People really got to start stepping up here and start talking to their politicians and saying, you got to cut out the funding for these types of shows because they are not fun. They are not what people want to watch. They are not what people want to remember in a time of history. I loved it. So funny, edgy, colorful, inclusive, and entertaining. Clever commentary, funny characters, spicy lesbian tension, nom nom nom, and a goofy mother effing mystery. Let's go. I'm guessing that was satirical. That's the only thing that I can say there, because they're a little bit too far on the explanation points here. Most everything that's come out for a lot of these TV shows has just been absolute garbage. You sit there and you want something great to come out. I look back at Cowboy Bebop, at something that could have been. It was something they did a Scooby Doo on the fans with. This is where it's coming down to. You know, and it only reminds me of Family Guy, where he goes,
"Shut up, Meg."
Well, it'll be definitely interesting to see where this lands on Rotten Tomatoes, because you know that a lot of those scores are just ridiculous. Whenever I go to those sites and I see a 1 or a 5, I generally disregard them, because they've even been, the reviews have been skewed one way or another, or both ways in this sense. Now, they've got over 2,000 reviews on there. We'll see where Rotten Tomatoes lands with them, because they have a tendency of deleting a lot of reviews. But even at a 7%, this show is well below the value for what you might be paying for HBO Max, which just did an increase on how much you might pay for it. Anyway, I am your proud Canadian Phoenix Cineshadow. This has been an absolute riot to look into. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.